All right, welcome back to Quantum Magic TV. I am so excited today, you guys, because I have the root of it all and their team members here to talk to us about Ayurveda and healing properties within essential oils that we have. And I've now partnered with them, and I'm so excited because it's a really cool way of holistically helping yourself without having to go to like pharmaceutical medications or anything like that. And I'm really excited. So I want to introduce Rachel and Justin. And if you guys want to kind of tell our listeners a little bit about your roles and the company, I would love that. Rachel, if you want to go first.
You want me to go first? Sure. So hi guys. Yes, I work with the Root of It All as the community coordinator. And I'm also a certified Ayurvedic health counselor. So I'm currently in the program to become a practitioner. I graduate next March. So
congratulations. That's so cool.
Thank you very much.
So many questions.
Yeah, Rachel's been a big help, super big help. All my Ayurvedic questions go straight to Rachel. I'm Justin. I'm the community and content manager. I've been with the Root of It All pretty much since the inception. So very happy with how things are going, and I'm super excited to be working with you, Shay. This is awesome. Thank you so much for having us.
Of course. So Justin, I'll start with you. So the Root of It All, if anyone were new to just come to you guys, what do you do?
So what we do is, you kind of hit it on the nail. Well, we make CBD that is infused with Ayurvedic ingredients. But more than that, what we're trying to create is a holistic, alternative, natural way to help remedy some of these specific conditions, to give people kind of the control back, aside from having to go to, I mean, there's great things about Western medicine, but I think a lot of us use pharmaceuticals as a crutch, or they're very easily abused. I think many of us, like yourself, I think you and I, Shay, actually kind of are in a line here. We're both very active. I was very competitive. You're still very active. You're an amazing dancer. You're going to launch a Firm Fit Nation, which is very exciting. Yeah. But with that comes a lot of great things cosmetically and spiritually, but and mentally and physically, but there are some things that come with that, and the consequences can be inflammation, pain. And so what we really wanted to do was create a product that can help people with specific conditions, whether that's for sleep. We have something specific for sleep, whether that's for anxiety, whether that's for pain, inflammation, or whether it's just for energy and a cognitive boost. Because we are trying to make something. So here's the example I like to use. I'll just go personal. For me, I was given a lot of painkillers. The issue with painkillers, or people that are looking to relieve pain, is it's hard to be functional throughout the day, and it comes with consequences as well. Our products, we wanted them to be designed to be fully functional, so that if you're someone in pain, you want something that'll alleviate or help with that without bringing you down, so that you can still be active, functional, and fully operating at an optimal performance than if you were to take like a painkiller or something like that.
Oh my gosh, absolutely. And why I love your guys' products, I've only now been using them for even a week, but even within a week, my muscles, I have them right here, Unwind. And this was like the one for muscles. I'm right, I think.
Yeah, you got it right.
And then, and then I have the Stop for sleep, and I'm loving them. And then I also have the one you guys sent, Go, for more focus, clarity throughout the day. And I've been utilizing them all and loving them because obviously listeners, and I'm very transparent and open about my lifestyle and products I've used, but I have been a marijuana smoker for a long time, and someone that enjoys that to keep my active mind kind of like in alignment and just to calm myself down. But like you said, I don't want to have to feel like I want to smoke weed or smoke marijuana to like do something or like calm myself down. And like these have just been so helpful for me to know that like I can use, and they're vegan and all natural, and all the ingredients are Ayurvedic properties as well. So Rachel, I'm gonna kind of ask you more about the Ayurveda side because I'm still learning all about that. So what is Ayurveda?
So Ayurveda is a ancient Indian healing modality that originated over 6,000 years ago. We say 6,000 because that's when it was written, but it was passed through stages as this and through by mouth. They were healing by word of mouth. And I came through deep, deep states of meditation. And so basically, the foundation is that they relate everything through the creation of the universe, which is all the elements. And that's what we work with. We work with the elements, which is ether, air, fire, water, and earth. So we take those components and we combine it to every living thing on earth, and that is our systems, our bodies, our energy. That is from plants to herbs, everything that we eat, they all have these elements. Certain foods have fire, certain foods have more water elements, certain foods have a lot of air qualities. So what we do in Ayurveda is we figure out what your biological energy is. Okay, that's called a dosha.
Okay.
And then we balance out your dosha with the opposite qualities. And so what we do with the Root of It All's products is we take these essential herbs, you know, the top herbs that are really, they're basically balanced to any dosha. So any person can take these and it will help soothe or satisfy whatever, you know, you're experiencing, whether that's anxiousness or inflammation, kind of like what Justin said. It's a really powerful science.
Wow. Okay.
Beautiful.
So, yeah, this is all in alignment with everything that, you know, my brand and what I represent, and just wanting to live a more holistic and healthy lifestyle. And I'm curious. So, it's for anyone, like anyone can, there's not for specifically, like just dependent upon what you're trying to treat, you can utilize certain product.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Yeah. So
Amazing.
we're very careful with the word treat
Right.
due to
Yeah.
regulations, legality, but it's kind of like Ayurveda in a sense where a lot of these things were anecdotal. And I think for us, our parent company is Cannabis Free Labs, which is we want to bring cannabis and science together. So we
Right.
have these amazing scientists, and one of our board members, actually, Shez, he's an immigrant from India, and these products were inspired by him because he grew up using Ayurvedic ingredients. And so what we wanted to do was start doing double-blind placebo studies. We put 5 million in R&D to figure out the efficacy and to start looking for the science of what everyone was anecdotally sharing. Everyone was saying like, oh yeah, turmeric is really helps with my inflammation. But now that we're seeing like the peer-reviewed journals and the research and the science actually going into it, it's, oh yeah, people were actually right. And we're actually able to prove this through science. And so that's a lot of what we did was we were testing out these Ayurvedic recipes. And what came with that is, why do these herbs work? Like, why does black pepper, turmeric, and cloves work so well in combination? Is because they have terpenes and flavonoids that create an entourage effect. And that's where our mind was blown, because I'm not sure if your audience is aware of this. Maybe some of them are, but the reason why CBD and THC are used in combination, and why we take all these other cannabinoids and use them in combination, like CBN, CBG, is because CBD actually works better in combination with all the other cannabinoids. When you take CBD isolated, there's some benefits to there. But what I like to say is, like, if you wanted to look at CBD like the pedals, all the other terpenes, flavonoids, and other cannabinoids that you're putting in there are the steering wheel, are the handlebars. You can pedal as fast as you want, but it's not always the best and not always the most effective. I guarantee you the person that's pedaling as fast as they can with handlebars will get to where they want to better, quicker, and more efficiently. And
Ooh,
that
that's
was the
good.
concept. Yeah. And so what we found was, wait, so these Ayurvedic recipes are doing, and we know these herbs like ginger, turmeric, all these Ayurvedic recipes have this entourage effect. Cannabis has this entourage effect when you use all the cannabinoids together. And then our research showed when you combine the two, we had a super entourage effect because they share terpenes that have the exact same DNA in cannabis as there are in these herbs.
Oh, I love that. That was like mind blown.
It was crazy. It was
That's
Good
crazy.
it's
job,
so good. It's
Justin.
really great though, because I really want to actively try to change the script around cannabis and around because people, so many people like hear the word cannabis and are just like, oh my God, no. And it's like there's so much more deeper that goes into all of that. And so I wanted to ask you, you guys you have the you have the cannabis infused line, but you also have oh my gosh, THC and CBD with is these ones, but you also have a CBD line as well, just on its own too, right?
Yep. So we have a CBD only line, and that's
Okay.
so that can be available for all 50 states. The
Okay.
benefit of the CBD only line is though it doesn't have the THC, it still has the Ayurvedic recipes. So it has all the other ingredients that the THC line has with regards to the essential oils that we put in them. So you're going to have that entourage effect from the essential oils, the Ayurvedic herbs with the CBD.
Okay. So that's if anyone is really just can't take the THC, then go for the CBD. But, and that kind of leads me into wanting to flip the switch around like the cannabis. And you said it, depending on, I'm learning a lot about, the plants and the cannabis and the CBD, but you said it really does kind of change the way it more or less helps or the effects of it when you do mix the CBD and cannabis THC. Correct?
Yeah,
Just making sure.
correct. So
Okay.
it's an entourage effect, and different ratios have different effects.
Okay.
So we're finding like a 1-to-1 ratio. Some research has shown that what I've read in peer-reviewed journals is 1-to-1 ratios tend to be more prescribed with cancer patients.
Okay.
That's because of the therapeutic benefits from there. Whereas what our research showed, when you increase the CBD and decrease the amount of THC, so let's say you have a 10 part CBD to 1 part THC, a 10-to-1 ratio like our E's, that's really great for like overall stress relief. But then what we found is when you do a 1-to-3 ratio, so 1 part CBD to 3 part THC, so a little more THC, we found that that was actually more beneficial for going to sleep. So all these different ratios, we had to like test around, do these double-blind placebo studies and figure out, okay, what ratio is specific to this condition that we're trying to help.
Wow.
And with our settle, our digestion tincture, we found that a 2-to-1, a 2 part CBD to 1 part THC with ginger, lemon, and what else is in there, Rachel? Ginger, lemon.
One of the awesome ingredients.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
does it and it doesn't get you high, right? Like the dosage of THC is so small in these bottles, and when you're taking these dosages, it's not going to necessarily get you stoned. I just want to like clarify that for people because I think some people get scared, like I'm going to get high if I take it, and it's like no.
Exactly. The reason why we put the THC in there is specific for the entourage effect to make the CBD more effective.
Okay.
And that's why we don't need to add as much THC or CBD is because we have the Ayurvedic component that makes it more effective. So we don't need to even increase the THC amount. So if you look at our competitors, we actually have a lower THC and CBD count because of the entourage effect of adding the Ayurvedic ingredients. And so all of our products are fully functional. That's the
Okay.
purpose. We were trying to create something that will help your condition without getting you high while you can be fully functional and fully performing at optimal performance throughout the day. If you
Amazing.
want to get high, you can go smoke some. There's
Right.
plenty of alternatives for that, but and there's nothing against that.
Right.
There's no problems with people doing that. Just we have a lot of corporate workers. We have a lot of lots of different people that for whatever reason they need something to help that condition, whether it's pain or whether it's angst and nerves or whether it's just like an energy or cognitive boost without having the jitters from coffee, or the dehydration that can come with that. And so that is it. Like, you do not have to worry about getting high with our products.
Amazing.
Also, that's why we put the specific, it breaks it down on the bottle so you can
Right.
see. Now, for example, if you're going to go over a specific dosage, or let's say that you've been using the product for, you are an avid Root of It All user, and your body has adjusted to it, and you want to feel, you can obviously double the amount, or
Okay.
you can take less than a full tincture to experiment. I always tell people, start if they've never used THC before and they want a remedy to help them sleep a little bit. So I say start with a half a dropper, keep it under your tongue for 2 minutes sublingually.
Okay.
Let that flow into the bloodstream, and that way you can let your body kind of wean in to what that would feel like. I don't
Okay.
want to ever freak anybody out. Some people's bodies are extremely sensitive.
Yeah.
So I don't want to say that they're not going to feel anything, but that's why you could start little, start with a half a dropper. But what's recommended on the dosage is a full dropper.
Okay.
But you could start small.
Okay.
And either way, that's still going to go into that bloodstream. It's still going to you're still going to see the benefits from that.
Amazing. Okay, cool. And like, what would you say is the overall vision for the root of it all?
Oh, that's so great. So what we want to do, obviously, is kind of our market is like the Whole Foods shopper, essentially. And that goes back to our CEO, Scott Mandel. He's the architect of the freeform category in food. So for people that aren't aware of that, that's when you go to the store, you see the vegan symbol, the gluten-free sign, the free from dairy, free from soy. All that was created by him. And that's because he had people in his family that were gluten intolerant, that were really, really gluten intolerant. And in the early 2000s, there wasn't those symbols. And so when people wrote it's gluten-free, yeah, they might have been using ingredients free of gluten, but they may have been producing them with machines that were working with gluten. And so you still have people with severe effects from it. And it wasn't until he created this system of transparency, and working with the FDA to create testing, that now when you go into the stores and you see that, you're pretty darn confident. Like, if it has that V symbol, you're like, okay, it's vegan. And if it just says it's vegan and it doesn't have the V symbol, you're like, maybe not. That's not to say they aren't, because I'm sure there's money that goes into buying that symbol, right? Paying for it. But you can be pretty confident that there's testing and that there's regulation. And that's really what he did. And by doing that, if you've noticed, it's actually elevated the standard of food. I mean, that's why we have whole food. That's why people are more conscious.
Wow.
I think that's why we're having this conversation right now. And when I grew up as a kid, I grew up buying organic food, but it wasn't a common thing. And now more and more people are shopping organic. And I think that's what it comes down to, is we want to bring that to cannabis, because we do feel that cannabis has a place for therapeutic benefit. And we do want to offer people a way to get back into their natural state of balance, that flow state, right? Where your mind, body, and spirit is just in perfect connection and you're just on optimal performance. It just seems like you can't fail at anything. And by bringing this same system of transparency and this culture of transparency, we're hoping that this will also elevate the standard of cannabis.
Mm-hmm.
Wow. Okay. So, and Rachel, I want to bring the more of the Ayurveda kind of into it. So essentially the Ayurveda aspect is all the natural root elements and ginger and all those effects mixed with the CBD and THC. And that's going to give us these products and like the healing essentially remedy.
Exactly. That's where the Ayurveda comes in, is we're taking the foundation of what Ayurveda, it's mind, body, soul, like Justin said. And a lot of that has to do with plant medicine, which is herbs.
Okay.
So these different herbs that we're using are pretty standard in Ayurveda. Now I'm in the practicing program right now, and there's hundreds of herbs, but these are like the essential, can work with any dosha and balance you out. Like turmeric, for example. Turmeric should be use carefully, obviously in large quantities. But when you're taking that and you're putting that for inflammation, for that specific targeted, issue that you're experiencing, that's going to be fine for anybody that uses it. So we're taking like the standardized Ayurvedic herbs and then putting them into these CBD tinctures, CBD THC tinctures.
Okay.
So it's a really good combination. And I actually found the company because of, obviously I study Ayurveda, but I found the company and started working for them after I used the product myself.
Nice.
And loved the product. So it kind of like
Amazing.
worked out. Yeah, it was great.
Yeah, I can feel your energy, and all of you guys too are just like high vibey. And I love that because it just goes to show like it's good people that are really backing it with like true essence and heart with wanting to help and heal. And I'm really an advocate for that. So what is your guys's like ideal customer or partner or anything, if you want to kind of tell people that?
I think really what we found is people that are health conscious. So like the whole food shopper, like we said.
Yeah.
We've also found like the yogi, the festival goer. Like we really kind of have this California vibe, like that wanderlust traveler. And then there's also this biohacking group where it's like people that want to kind of take control, and it's all about optimal performance, right?
Yes.
Optimal performance is necessarily about getting high, but it's how can I make myself the most functional. And so but what we want to do though is the same thing with I'm sure people that come out with organic food, is we do really feel like it's the best for your health. And so our hope is that we can educate this and spread this as far out as possible. Like I'm sure, I would imagine Whole Foods has the same vision where their goal is they want everyone to understand the value of eating organic. And I think that's our goal is we want to share this with this positive information with everyone. It'll only be better for our world if everyone is healthier. And so that's the goal. We need everyone to jump on this.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. We would like people to feel balanced in their daily lives, whether that's from physical or mental, traumas that your body have gone through. Yeah. And so these products really, help aid in just feeling your best self.
What is your guys' take on, Western medicine and pharmaceutical companies, if you don't mind me asking?
Rachel, go ahead.
We talk a lot about that because, with studying Eastern medicine, it's a lot of us, we can get a little frustrated with how the patients that we're seeing now have first ultimately tried Western. And we need Western. We need Western. There is some great technology and science behind some of the methods that they have. And once certain ailments get super aggressive, we have to send clients to Western medicine. Right. We need that because there is the science behind that. We like to look at Eastern as a preventative way of living. Obviously, we have ways of reversing a lot of different ailments, serious ailments, and I've seen it firsthand. But we look at it as a way of living. It's preventative. It really is. It's preventative medicine. So Western, I look at it as we need it, but there's so many cracks in the system. There's a lot of cracks. There's a lot of abuse. There's a lot of taking advantage of. I don't think there's as much soul in Western medicine. There's a lot, it's not conscious. And we're seeing that more and more, like the heart that's missing in that, that's where the problem starts.
Absolutely.
It's like a leading the herd. There's one person in, one person out, one shoe fits all. And with Eastern, what we've come to see is that the science is so specific to energy, and we don't really pay attention to energy. They're just now starting to incorporate Reiki. I don't know if you know what Reiki healing is, but it's all energy. Right. They're just now starting to incorporate that into medical facilities, because they know that we have this ability to heal through our own energy. And they're just acknowledging that now, whereas all these other ancient civilizations have been using this since the dawn of time.
Yes.
It's like, you
Oh,
know,
it's so good.
More, Western medicine is amazing. It's incredible. We're using a lot of the science and technology to help prove why Eastern medicine is working. And there's a place for us to work together. I don't think anyone's denying the medical technology. I think it's more looking at the way our insurance system works. And to how Rachel said, I think a lot of times our healthcare system works in a way where we wait till something is wrong. It's unfortunate. Like, we can't help you. Our hands are tied. We can't help you until it's actually messed up.
Yeah.
Then we come and try to treat you. But it's like, the issue is we shouldn't be waiting to the point where we broke something or we damaged something. We should be looking at how can we live a lifestyle of preventing this, and to enact preventative healthcare that requires you to look at your lifestyle.
Yes.
And that means it's specific to every person. So it can't be a one size fits all. It's got to be specific to your genetics, of course, and your nurture. What's around you? What's the environment around you? What's your diet like? What's your mood? How are your relationships like? How is the balance of your life? And I think it really does come down to a sense of lifestyle. And there's definitely a place for both to work together.
Yeah, and it's almost like merging the two is like this new lifestyle that I think people need to just start to consider, because we were pigeonholed into the way of Western thinking and got to band-aid it, and the pharmaceuticals, and this is the way, and capitalism and making money and business, versus like, I feel like for a long time, because I've been very on the journey and path of energy for over 15 years. I'm only 28. So it's like, that's been since I was like 13 or something after that. But I always would talk about these things and get these reactions from people like, oh, you're like a witch, you're woo woo, you're this, you're that. Like, and I'm just like, what the heck? Like, it's so crazy. But now it's so interesting because I'm seeing it more and more. People are waking up, and, the shift in consciousness is majorly happening. And I'm so excited for it. But I just chuckle to myself because, like, watch, spirituality is going to be trendy in 2 years.
Well, yoga used to be looked at that way.
Yeah.
Yoga used to be looked at kind of woo woo, but when you look at it now, it's like stretching is so amazing for you. Pilates is great. And I think this is another example of Western healthcare is the rehab exercises they teach you after you get injured. Like, these are exercises that'll bring something that's broken back to full strength, which you took your entire life to build. But you're going to do this in a short amount of time. That means if it can take something that was broken and get it back to full, imagine if you started doing those rehab exercises before you ever got injured.
Yep.
You avoid the injury, you prevent it. But we're not taught those exercises until we get injured.
Yes. Oh my gosh. But that just goes back to that capitalism thing where it's like, well, let's just make them hurt themselves so we can make money off of them, And it's just like, if people, like, I love what you said about it being a lifestyle, because it really is. It's like preventative. If you're taking steps daily to not, of course, you can't just like take a tincture and think it's like the end all be all, but no, you're actively taking your tincture, you're actively meditating and stretching and eating a healthier, diet, and all of that adds up in the end. And it's like those small daily steps. And what are you doing to live your life consciously, versus let me be unconscious and be told what I'm supposed to do and live this like cookie cutter capitalism lifestyle, and that then you're going to get sick one day and like sit there and wonder why and where you went wrong. And I think a lot of people were guided in the wrong ways, out of ego versus soul for a long time, in the way energetics were and life has been for a long time. And that's why this shift and all of this craziness happening in the world right now, I think, is all happening for a deeper reason than we're even aware of. But
and not to say that there's that capitalism is bad or anything like that, but I think we've lost balance, right? It's anything of one thing. If if we skew too much capitalistic, then we forget the social aspects of humanity, right? But we've also seen what happens if we go all the way to, not to make this political,
Right.
Right.
but I think that's what it seems like, and there's nothing wrong with working to want to better yourself, and if you want to work way harder than the next person and reap the benefits of that, that's the beauty of this, right?
Yeah,
But I believe there is always a point of diminishing return.
absolutely.
What are
Yeah.
you working, so what are you working for? What's the purpose behind it? And what's the game plan? Do you want to work forever? There's a point of diminishing return, right? If you work too
Yeah.
hard and you wait till you're too old, I mean, we hear this all the time, you're too old to enjoy the fruits, right, that
Mhm.
you bear. And so it's finding that balance, I think.
Oh, balance is key. That has been the word for 2020. I'm telling you.
Yeah.
I love it. And what are like, is there any product that is like booming that you guys have, or any kind of one that everyone's really loving that you wanted to mention?
I'd say our stop one does the best, our stop for sleep.
Okay.
Um, yeah. And this comes down to lifestyle. I think everything starts with sleep,
Yeah.
recovery. Everything starts with a good night's rest, and that's how your body recovers. You can eat extremely well, you can exercise really well, but if you're not getting the proper amount of sleep, right, you're gonna actually, there's a point of diminishing returns. If you're working out really hard and you're not sleeping, you're just gonna damage your body. There's no recovery. And
Right.
so there's a sleep doctor named Matthew Walker, and he says sleep is your superpower. And I couldn't agree more. And so with our stop tincture, I think people feel that they're taking control back in their recovery and being able to sleep. And the greatest thing about our sleep tincture is it's all natural. It's chamomile, lavender, valerian root with a 3-to-1 ratio. There's no hangover the next day. There's no bake over. We actually have a lot of people, even if they have only 4 hours to sleep, they'll take it because they'll get more productive sleep. And they'll
Yeah.
wake
And
up
it
the next
doesn't make
day
you
more
feel
charged.
groggy.
There's no
Yeah.
grogginess. Melatonin is often prescribed, but their melatonin can come with brain fog. It can come with needing to increase the dose of that, and you don't get your full recovery of sleep. Whereas there's been some research too. If you smoke cannabis too much, some people stop dreaming. Right? They say
Oh,
like, "Oh, I don't
wow.
remember my dreams anymore," and it's true that it gets you into deep sleep, which is an important part of your recovery. But REM sleep is just as important. It's extremely important for recovery. And if you're skipping that REM sleep,
Mhm.
that's what we found with the stop tinctures. People are still dreaming, which is
Yeah.
very that's key.
Oh, that is so awesome. Well, I'm
You got
just
to
over the
dream. You
moon.
got to dream.
You gotta dream. You gotta record those dreams too, because they all have messaging.
They
But I have to
do.
ask you, okay, how do you like the taste of them? Because that
I
was a
actually,
bonus. That wasn't the intent.
yeah, the taste is awesome. And I was a little nervous because I'm kind of picky with taste sometimes and like tincture stuff. And if it's like, I'm not a huge spices person, and I actually, one of them is more spice driven than I can't remember.
Mhm. Yeah, the unwind.
The unwind. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's more
That one's like
the
my
unwind.
favorite, actually.
It's really good.
I
Yeah.
love
I
the way that
was
one tastes.
super impressed with the taste of all of it, and it's like really easy to just kind of hang it in there for a minute or two and then just goes down nice. Like I loved it. Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah, is there anything else that you guys wanted to tell me and tell us about the root of it all that we missed? Anything we
Um,
didn't cover?
Thank you for having us.
Of
Really
Yeah,
appreciate
course.
it. Follow our
absolutely.
Instagrams at the root
Yeah.
of it all. At the root of
Sorry,
it
that
all.
was my next thing. At the
Yeah,
root
we're
of it
doing a
all.
giveaway right now. So anyone wants to participate, we're collabing with Fourth and Heart. They have amazing Ayurvedic ghee.
Mm.
Awesome. So
And
check
how
it
can we
Have you
enter
ever
that?
used ghee before?
No.
Okay,
out.
ghee is essential.
Oh,
Essential.
what is ghee?
So ghee is a clarified butter,
Okay.
and it's the most healthiest fat that you could put into your body with cooking. I mean,
Oh,
extremely beneficial. On a cellular level, it's also like nourishing your body. We call it in Ayurveda, we call it ojas. Okay,
okay.
like ojas is like it's like in Chinese medicine, they call it qi. Have you heard of
Okay, know
qi?
what she is.
Qi?
Yep, for sure.
Okay, well, ghee is a a great way to raise your chi or your ojas. It's like, and without, it's not going to make you, you know, it's not like the same as what you would have with a normal butter. It's not going to like make you fat, or,
And you
you
can
know,
cook
people are
with it.
so concerned. Yes.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, you
Oh,
can cook,
amazing.
bake.
Yeah.
with
It's all
high
I cook with.
temperature. I mean, it's lactose free, and
Oh,
it's so
wow.
it's essentially it's clarified butter.
Okay.
And the great thing about clarified butter is like you take out all the fillers, you take out the dairy, you take out the salts. So you can make it at home by yourself. You throw in a bunch of butter and you start skimming all the foam off the top. And because there's nothing that can perish in it, clarified butter or ghee can actually just store room temperature.
What? Oh my gosh, I'm gonna have
Yeah,
to look into this for sure.
freaking awesome. And it tastes amazing.
It
Oh
does.
It's
my
amazing.
gosh, that's so funny you just said this. because
Everything tastes better.
I was thinking about how I use coconut oil and I've used butter and stuff, but I was thinking the other day about how I want something new to use for cooking. So that's funny.
No,
Butter
this is
tastes
it.
so good. It's a guilt-free butter.
Okay. Okay. So we
Yeah.
can go, you said you're doing a giveaway and that's on the Instagram.
Mhm.
Yeah.
That's on either page. Just go. It's on the post. The guidelines are there. Super
Okay. And the
easy.
page one more time. Can you say that again?
At the root of it all, and our CBD only line is at the root of it all CBD.
Amazing. And the
Shay,
website?
I included a promo code too, so you guys can go to the
Yeah.
website, therootofitall.com, and use Shay25. Get your 25% off anything
Guys,
and all the root of
serious.
it all. We're going to do something in the future where we add a little extra to that promo code. So keep an eye out for it. We're hoping to get it out around the holidays, but that'll come with like, you'll get your 25% off and like another free little gift on top of it.
Oh, you guys are amazing. Thank you so much. This has been so like eye-opening for me too, because I'm learning a lot about it and I'm just so grateful to have partnered with you guys and get the word out more and help more people because that is the goal. And yeah, if anyone wants to reach out, you guys, please reach out to them and make sure you guys get in on your 25% discount because it's worth it and you guys can get more amazing stuff. So, Rachel, Justin, thank you so much for joining me today, and I will definitely get everything posted on up. And Quantum Magic listeners and viewers, thank you all for being here, and I'll see you guys all back on Quantum Magic TV next week at 12 p.m. PST. Thanks so much, guys.
Thank
Thank
you.
you.
Pleasure.
No problem. Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.